Yeah, what's up, everybody? Lauren, good morning. Hunter, what's up, man? Bad news for you. You're at work. Yeah, man, that sucks. Gotta make that money, though. Let's see. Uh, Sounds like we're good. Beautiful. It just takes a second for it to catch up on my side. I think I want to take, if you guys watched that off-road infraction video I did, I think it's awesome. It's pretty much dialed. Like, it rubs on the body a little bit, but, dude, I think it's absolutely badass. I'm extremely happy with how it came out. I've been working on a Squirrel Killer 9000 for squirrel hunting. This is my old 22 barrel. I put a heavy match grade barrel on it and a new stock. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be squirrel's worst nightmare. Hunter, you take it easy, but I appreciate you stopping in real quick. All right. Let me organize the bench a little. It's a freaking mess. Yeah. Knives everywhere because I was working on that 22 long rifle last on Monday, my last day off, and I was doing that, putting a new barrel on and stuff because the new barrel is like match grade, so it's a real snug fit, like a really good fit. So I had to warm up the body of the gun and slowly tap it in with a rubber mallet. Get so it's sick though, absolute beast mode. What are you guys up to this weekend? I think we're gonna get the off-road infraction out on the table because I want to make sure the diffs have grease and diff juice in them. Phone in so it don't die. Yeah, I was running a little behind today. I kind of like rushed to set this up because actually I woke up later than I normally do. I'm normally up by like 6 or so, but I woke up at like 3 and couldn't fall back to sleep. So, but all right, let's do some cleaning up real quick on the bench, and then we'll get the off-road infraction on the table. And I want to check the front and rear diffs, make sure they have juice in them. I don't think they've ever been checked, so we'll see how that goes. Lances. It's the rubber mallet I use to seat that match grade barrel. I'm really thinking about. I just started, or I just made an account on. I forget what it's called. It's like YouTube, but not YouTube. Oh, Rumble. I was thinking about starting to do Second Amendment things on Rumble because YouTube don't like that. Like, there's too many things you can't show and can't do. But Rumble's kind of like do what you want. I feel like if you can get in there early right now because it's slowly getting more popular, and do some Second Amendment videos on there. All right, so it's organized ish, kind of. I got these koozies I like to keep around. People like if you need a koozie for your beer, you don't drink them fast enough. Well, when you're wrenching on stuff and everything, you kind of forget. You get sidetracked and stuff, and they keep them cool. So I actually ordered one with the Chef Beardsley logo and Chef Beardsley on the back. Should be here this week, I think. That's charged. All right, let me get this off the table. You guys getting into this weekend, man? Kind of quiet, bro. kind of have a open space here. Then let's check camera 3. Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're kind of not as bad as it was. Really want to get the notorious V6 back out. Really need to get that out. And we got to get the Mini back out. That Mini Creighton is super impressive. And I'm not a Mini RC kind of guy. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. I'll bring pressure. Here we come. If you guys haven't watched that video, go watch it. The extra ground clearance made a huge difference. On camera, it doesn't show how bumpy that road is, especially when you go like across that one road. There's like a lip. Thing's absolute beast. Even going off the road through those sticks and stuff, no problem. And all the tires stayed glued. I want to really hook up this rear brake. I think it'd be a lot of fun on the dirt. But we're gonna check the diffs today. Because I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't think I ever checked these diffs. Not once, not ever. These fenders, inner fenders, help so much. Beastman. I'm really, really happy with how this came out, honestly. My chat's working. You guys are just creeping, watching, or my chat's not working. Well, we'll see. All right, let's get some. I don't think I've ever, again, toured into these diffs before. So we're going to figure out how to get to the front bulkhead. This has to come off. Like the whole front. We're going to start with the obvious, take those out. And then it looks like that has to come out. I'm going to have to cut these zip ties that's holding these fenders on. Let's see, y'all. Bob, what's up, dude? In my hair. All right, let's see. So these definitely have to come out. Oh, excuse me. You getting into this weekend, Bob? With these zip ties. It's about my turn. And I said, ooh. I don't know why that song stuck in my head. So the way this is set up, the way I have it set up, I'm gonna have to take off the body post unless I want to unbolt it from the body here. Body post probably going to be easier. Back at the body post. Nope. Oh, what size are you? It has to be a 2. Yeah, it's a 2. Where's my little baby 2? There it is. Anybody doing anything this weekend? What's up, man? Chat's super quiet right now. Good shot. Again, I'm super impressed with how this thing came out, man. It honestly performed way better than I expected. Like, way better. A lot of dry rubs out there. Message retracted. Spike. Honestly performed. Keep going here. So I gotta pull these shock towers, or the body posts, I should say, to get this off, because these fenders go through those. But think about doing this mod. What did you adjust? I actually have a video on explaining how I did, but I can explain to you now. Let's see if I can get you a better look here. So what I did was I took the shock towers off, and I figured out where I wanted the hole for my shocks. And there's 3 holes coming down on an angle here, and the last hole I went on a 45 in between, and figured out where I wanted it to sit, and punched it and drilled a hole on either side, so it keeps the same geometry of everything, but lifts it up a little. On the front, same thing. I drilled a hole, But in the front, you got to be real careful because it doesn't have a lot of metal on it. But I managed to have just enough to make the room and lift it. But you also have to, since you also have to back out the droop screws all the way, and you're gonna have to do some trimming in the rear here. You're gonna have to cut some of this plastic out so the arms can drop down, because if you don't, they're gonna sit on this piece of plastic. But it keeps the stock look, and it lifted it probably over an inch, and it works great. Um, but with the holes, I highly recommend taking your time and just slowly figure out where you want it. Um, I eyed it up, and it honestly came out perfect. The way it's sitting, nothing's higher or lower than the other. I did mess up one hole in the front. I had to oblong out to test, but then I ordered a new front shock tower, and then I used the good hole in the front as a template and used my drill press. So type packing for moving. Ah, gotcha. But yeah, I have a video that better shows how I did it. Um, that's just for a live. It was just a hot take, like showing you real quick. But yeah, if you go back and watch some of the, I forget how long ago it was, a few months ago. I have a video of this, how like a little better look is the. I had to go up around my hand and stuff. I can get closer. Honestly, all Arma has to do is add those extra holes and then make those plastic parts on the bottom removable, and then you have an off-road mode and an on-road mode, and then it's truly an all-road car. The slides, the sides. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean, bud. I will check the video. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, dude, no problem. I honestly, that's all I did. I relocated the shock holes, trimmed that plastic on the bottom, only in the back. You don't know how to do it in the front, and removed my droop screws, or brought them all the way up to the max, so it's max droop. And yeah, that's it. There's nothing else I really had to do. I had to move the location of these rods that keep the tires straight. Like I forget caster camber. I forget which one that is, but yeah, I just had to move those over a hole just to keep them straight. But other than that, I didn't have to do anything else. It was honestly pretty easy. And again, if Arma did that, it'd be a true all-road car, like they kind of say it is, but it's not, because it's a little too low even for my dirt road. Um, but after this, dude, the thing rips through my yard, um, everywhere. I think it's an absolute beast now. The slides, the metal bent web wheels, wheelbase. I, it's still, I'm not picking up what you're putting down. If you're talking about these are just aftermarket sides. They're just they're not needed. It's just I like them. Um, and then for the inner fenders, I cut them how I wanted to, not how they suggest to cut them, just so it fit my. Because I had to do some extra clearing and stuff to keep the stuff out, but I really didn't have to do much, man. It was literally like 4 holes, cut some plastic in the rear, and what's it called, and just readjust to keep the tires straight. That's it. And it kept like the stock geometry of the shocks, and they're not overextending or nothing. Like it's honestly perfect. It's legit. Because it kept it looking stock, which I liked. Because all the other ones I have found, they put wider arms on and stuff. It doesn't look like an infraction anymore. So that should come off with that, and then I guess again I never got into these discs before, so bear with me. Down there. Buggy. Those tires. Yeah, these are Badlands for a buggy. They came off my Typhon, and if you can see, I put some fishing twine on there. Because the way this thing's geared and stuff, it hauls ass, and they would balloon and explode. So I did the fishing line trick, and haven't had an issue since. Because if you try to put these on stock, even if you max the shocks out, they rub the body real bad, and you still don't get enough ground clearance. Is this really that long? That's what she said. Like, what are these rubber things for? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Oh, I remember what these are for. So these rubber things that you normally put with your servos, I put underneath the rear shock or the front shock tower to lift it up just that little bit. Because even when they were maxed out, it was a little too short. So I just had spare rubber things for servos. I put the metal thing in there and set them on here just to lift that shock tower up just that little bit. That's all it needed. So I had to do that too. How do you come off? Let's put just taking screws out. See where that screw fell? We get that. Again, bear with me. I never checked these diffs, and after that run and stuff, and how it's running so well, I'm like, let me actually make sure there's diff juice and stuff in it now. Take it easy, Spike, man. I appreciate you stopping in, dude. I'm out. The center screw has to come out, but it won't come out. Right. coming out. Yeah. Man, I wish I still my freaking. I wish I really need to order M2C, not M2C, MIP bits again because that one's still broken. I went to order some and they're back ordered. Try that. Good idea. Appreciate it, dude. Uh-huh. Yeah, no, get those screws out. Did. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. Again, sorry, I never checked these diffs. As you can tell, look at how filthy that is. I don't think that's ever seen the light of day. Um, that's from like the original run sitting in my old shed. Who knows if there's even diff screws in there before we start ripping that apart. So do this easier on me. Gonna have to take off these shocks and flop this out just so I can get the diff out easier. Where's my... Move you guys back just a smidge. I'm gonna put these on here because I have a bad habit of knocking this kind of stuff off the bench, and then it disappears forever. Here's a better look at the relocation here. This is the second hole down, and then about 45 degrees out from it in between there. This is the one I messed up. I had to oblong, but then I got a new front shock tower. Oh, so I have taken this off before and just mirrored it on both sides with my drill press, and it came out perfect. You don't need a drill press to do it. Like the back ones are just done with like a hand drill, and I didn't even take it off the truck. The front, a little less leeway there. Hang in my head. So I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't have any juice in it. Again, I've never broken into these diffs before. I wish they made a different way to, easier way to disconnect the sway bar. It's like with sway bars, once I break them or whatever, I don't run them again. I'm just hoping I should be able to finagle that around there. Yeah. I'm gonna finagle this out. Yeah. It is grease, so that's good. But who knows what kind of diff juice is in there. And yeah, I smell it. Because you can smell if it's like burnt grease or anything like that. Let's see. Really? Just enough to hit that screw, really. Oh, there might be juice in there, not much, or it's really thin. Yeah, might thicken it up just a little bit. We're gonna move guys here. Terrible. Paper towel. The two. I may have been in here before because this is the grease I use. Grease of diffs. Maybe when I was lifting it, I put grease on the diff. I know I've never taken them apart. It's actually not bad in there. A little low, but yeah, it's super thin though. Super thin. I think we're just gonna add to it. We're not gonna go crazy with it. What do I want to put in the front? Let's see. Might do 60K in the front. Just pop her off a little. Oh yeah. It been there on a Sunday morning, banging my head. I'm sure people have their own ways of doing this, but that's how I do mine. I normally tend to overfill, but we make it work. Done. Make sure it's lined up. Hell yeah. On a Sunday morning, banging my head. Alright, now we can snug her down. I'm not a big fan of doing diff work. Like, it has to happen, obviously, but there was no issue with it. I just need to at least check it because, again, I never took these diffs out since I had it. So, and after that successful run off road, I want to make sure. Yeah, it feels better. So now we're gonna put some grease in the front here, and then we're gonna put the diff back in. Let's see, where's my grease? These are like diffs on my big heavy bashers. I normally like pretty much fill this cavity with marine grease. Some people say it's too much and stuff, but I never really have issues, and it works really well. But for this kind of stuff, I don't normally pack it too much. Sounds good to me. Put the cover back on. Can do up the caps, and we're good. Boom, boom. It's gonna be beautiful in the next couple days. Where's my this one? Don't get too crazy with the drill because I want to strip these out. I have the clutch set real low too, so should be okay. Beautiful. Let's this first. Yeah, we'll do this first, and then we'll put the arms back in. Little baby sway bar. All right. Hell yeah, dude. All right, let's get the arm back in. We gotta make sure these spacers go in. Make sure we line up. Enough to go in there. Chef. No, it's flash, but still. Let's see. Let's try to get these. I think we might have got it. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, shark's not hooked up. I'm gonna do shit with that. Okay. Let's get this guy back up. Little spacers. Line these up. This worked really good last time, but it works the first time. Second time is always worse. Let's see. And I can snap them on, but sometimes I have a harder time snapping them on than just lining these all up at once. Yeah, see? Hell yeah. Beautiful. Now let's get the shocks back on. Number dose. Yeah, it feels way better now. Beautiful. Now we got to use this sketchy broken to screw this down. It's a super long screw. There we go. Okay. Now, again, I got these to lift this shock tower just a little bit so I can clear that body with the lift. I showed them to the wrong camera. But they're just like the rubber grommets that you put in with servos. That I got to put new zip ties here. That's how I have it held on. Um, when you get these fender flares, the different ways to mount it, but for what I did to this, I had to do it that way. Or I wanted to do it that way, I should say. Let's get this back up there. Not 100% sure if I need to take that off, but I did anyway. This one. I must push that what's it called? That nut through there. They called it though, which is good. There's like little nuts up there that you can push through. Got that one too. Hell yeah. Let's see. We gotta put the body post back in. You gotta put these two screws in from the front here. Like so. Yeah, thought I dropped it for a second. I would have been pissed. Post, body post. Set to the highest position. Hopefully, it's lined up. Some light. Got it. Hell yeah. Okay. There's one. Gotta get the other one. Again, it's set to like the highest it can go. And then it also has those rubber spacers under here they normally put with servos to help lift it just that little bit. But I think they could have done better with how the chassis brace goes straight from front to back. Just fine, it gets in the way. Yeah, when you're wrenching and stuff, but for rigidity, I can see why they did it. That's what we need to check at some point too. Is the center diff? Who knows? That for sure has never been looked at. Yeah, beautiful. All I have to do is two little zip ties, and she's back and ready to go. That front diff needed some extra juice in it. It was pretty low. It was also really thin. My little baby zip ties. Baby zip ties. Purple. So then I have this come up through here. If my head's in the way, but I gotta see what I'm doing here. Come on. No, speak. Wait, really? Maybe if I go this way. God, they're so hard to grab. Okay. It's honestly the hardest part of this whole thing. Nope, don't fall through. I gotta find a better way to mount these. Because again, I didn't mount them like how they tell you to mount them. Because of my setup, I didn't want to do them that way. Beautiful. As RC guy says, you make sure you come at a sharp 45-degree angle. Push that through like so. Hell yeah. Beautiful. Boom. Just done. Fenders are back on. Again, spacer under here just lifts up that little bit more. And the front diff is serviced. We put some extra juice in there. We greased it. It was thin. I really need to bust into the center diff because that for sure has never been looked at before. And the rear also needs to be serviced. No, this is a my off-road infraction that I lifted and made it still look stock. I actually ran it. The final like test run, quote unquote, was last weekend. Absolute beast, dude. I lifted about a little over an inch, and it's like night and day for off road now, and it still looks like an infraction. See, infraction. How you doing, HTX? We're actually winding down. We just, like I said, serviced the front diff, added some more juice, greased it. I need to check the center at some point and the rear, but I got some other stuff to do. Yeah, if you haven't seen the video, go check it out, dude. I also have, if you're more interested on how I lifted it and what I had to do, there's some other videos showing that better. But yeah, now I can run these Badlands. It's lifted. Very, very minimal body rub, which I'm really not worried about. Um, and it still looks like an infraction. You don't have longer arms on it or nothing like that. Still has the same geometry that it did stock, so it handles just like it did. It's just lifted. I want to do crazy speed runs with it now because it's higher off the ground. But I think it's like a true all road car now, like kind of how they say it is, but it's really not. Because if I just looked at my dirt road wrong, this thing would have it would get tossed around. It was too low, getting stuck on everything. Now it just rips, dude. Absolute beast mode. I'm honestly really, really happy with how it came out. Again, if you want a deeper dive on like how I lifted it, you can go check out that video. It's kind of hard to show during the live with the webcams and stuff to get close. In the video, at least I have like a GoPro. I actually got closer to show you how I did it. But again, I wasn't all the ones I found that were like quote unquote lifted. They put like wider arms on them and stuff. They just didn't look like an infraction anymore. It looked stupid, in my opinion. Like to each your own, obviously. I want to keep the infraction look, and now it's like a legit off-road rally truck. Yeah, like a rally car. Yeah, I call it a rally truck. Because if you go back, I'll do a test run with these. I think I did with these tires and just kind of maxing out the shocks, and it was too much rubbing. It was getting stuck on everything. Then the next video is me. I modded it and like drilled new holes, cleared some plastic underneath, backed out the droop screws and stuff, and did another test in the yard. Freaking awesome. And then my last video on this was on my dirt road and just ripping around. Dude, it's so awesome. And I say this before. I said this a couple times. Arma, all they have to do is add the 4 extra holes that I drilled and make those bottom plastic pieces in the rear removable. So they're like off-road mode, move your shocks here and take off these plastic guards. And then on-road mode, put the plastic guards back up and move your shocks to the other position. And it would literally be an all-road car. But yeah, this thing, like I said, I do a lot of weird like projects and stuff that are either work well or don't. And this one's definitely one of my more I impressed myself with it. I think it came out really good. Kind of like with my 12S DBXL. I think that came out really good. I had to cut the chassis and move stuff on that and everything, and it worked really well. But yeah, the only if you're gonna do this, the only thing is be careful with the front shock tower because there's not a lot of metal to play with. Get some ideas, yeah, and not give me any credit for it. I wouldn't even care if they sent me one. Just be like, hey, this is his idea. What up? How you doing, man? We're actually winding down. I think we're gonna end it soon. Got some stuff to do. Need to sight in the Squirrel Killer 9000. Leak, what's up, dude? You guys showed up late, man. We're like I said, we're winding down. It just if you guys are just joining, we just did the front end on the off-road infraction. Put some more diff juice in there and greased it. Still need to do the center and the rear, but we're not going to do that yet. Yeah, if you haven't watched the video, go check it out, dude. I'm really, really happy with how it came out. Watch the beginning too, because you kind of see the progression of like how well it came out. It's just GoPros don't give that road justice. Wants to adopt a dog? What kind? Getting a house ready, but the army of other dogs we have. Yeah. How many do you have now? Yeah, it is dope, dude. Like I said, go back and like I want you guys. I'm not trying to push for views. I couldn't care less about that. But like, if you're interested in it, watch the progression. It's a few months ago. Is like the first like 2 videos or whatever on it, and then the last one was last weekend. I think sick. The squirrels are your brothers. Yeah. Well, they're delicious, and I got too many. Yeah, I'm decking out a 22 LR. Just got a match grade bull barrel, a new stock, and then I'm gonna get a quiet maker. Squirrels are not gonna know. But yeah, I think, like I said, we wind it down. I think we're pretty much done. I'll give you guys another look at like how the lift. If you guys have one or seen one, you'll actually appreciate like how much of a lift it actually is compared to what they are stock. So that's a side profile of it lifted. And even with a battery in it, it doesn't go down much. And like, it's literally a little rally truck now. Still looks like an infraction. And don't worry about this. This doesn't hit or nothing. I know it looks weird on camera, but it doesn't. But yeah, dude, I'm extremely happy with how this came out. And again, it'd be so easy for Armor just to add 4 holes and make those back ends removable for off-road and on-road mode. This is why I should be a tester. But yeah, Earl has off-road cars. I think he'll really be like, all right, yeah, that's actually lifted pretty good, and it's not just maxed out shocks. I'm on the fence to get into another RC or the DJ. I'm gonna have the two. Well, RC. It's actually a pretty good shot side. And again, these fenders don't normally mount like this, so like don't worry about that. That's just me making it work for my build. And they're not cut like they're supposed to be, but I want it max coverage for the lift and stuff. And honestly, I really think this is one of my best projects. It's pretty good actually. Make some stew and stuff. Be super dope if they made a fifth scale infraction. Yeah, that'd be dangerous though. Something that big, hauling ass. But like Creightons and stuff, people modify just haul ass now too. So I'm really curious of like what they're they're working on something. Like what's next? I really want a 5B again. Like the Losi 5B, the fifth scale buggy. It's like a buggy kit, but fifth scale. It's the coolest freaking thing. They just don't make it no more. Armor should make it. Dude, I really think so. Because like I said, I know I'm like beating a dead horse here, but like literally all they had to do is make these parts I cut out removable, like easily. And just they're gonna have to add a little extra metal to the front shock tower, drill 2 holes, and in the rear you can leave it like it is. Just add the 2 holes I did, and then be like in the manual, remove the rear plastic covers, back out your droop screws, move your shocks here, and it's off road mode. On road mode, put those back in, adjust your droop, and move your shock. It would be like a 5-minute adjustment, and it'll be a true all road car. They dropped a 10th scale infraction the other day, then took the video down. Really? Big Typhon would be sick. Yeah, that's like the. If you guys don't know, the Losi 5B used to be a kit, a fifth scale kit, and it was a TLR kit. So it was like a regular TLR race buggy, but fifth scale. It was the freaking coolest thing, and they just don't make it no more. It was so badass. Yeah, and like I said, it is just right, and everything is even. Like I was real worried about one side be lower than the other and stuff. It's not. It's like perfect all the way around. I'm really happy with how it came out. I know when they released the new Limitless, people thought it was a bigger Typhon, but it wasn't because they just did that quick pass across the screen. But yeah, like a true fifth scale buggy, like the 5B used to be, would be so badass, dude. Because I know KGM has the M, the I forget who makes it, but it's kind of like that. It's a really nice buggy, but I'd love to see a TLR one come back. The guy can dream. Yeah, there's a little better shot. Like it's really like it looks close, but it really isn't. Like it's just this loops over a little bit, but there's plenty of room back here. And again, these aren't normally how they're mounted, but this is how I made them work for my setup because I want max travel. Because like if I really hit it, it'll touch a little, but not. It like I think I did that once or twice. There's a couple spots of the body it nicked, but it's really not bad at all. But yeah, I think we're gonna end it there. I think we're over an hour, right? Yeah, we're 80 minutes. So yeah, I think we're gonna end it like we always do. I appreciate you guys showing up. It was a little slower live this morning, but I don't do them for the views. I do it just to hang out with you guys and chat. Appreciate you guys showing up. And wherever you are in the world, have a good morning, afternoon, or night. And we'll catch you guys soon. Supposedly RC guy's working on something cool. I don't know when he's gonna do that, but keep an eye on him. Obviously, he's way bigger channel than myself, but he was telling me some things that he's working on, and should be pretty cool. So I'll catch you guys soon, man.